Hi guys, how are you? Get your tea ready, which I have my tea ready with me. And pause this video if you have to and get yourself some tea, coffee, whatever you drink. Grab a pillow, a blanket, and just sit and let's have a chat. I have been watching this guy named Bill Donahue on YouTube. You may find him as William Donahue from YouTube. He is like a ghost dude. He's gone. He is not on any other social media except YouTube. He's not on Instagram. He's not on TikTok. I don't think he's on Facebook. And like a lot of his stuff are from 12 years ago. So if you are religious and you're into this whole religion thing, and you're going through your spiritual enlightenment, you're going through your awakening process, and you want to get more knowledge how spirituality play into the religion aspect, and this is a great guy to get information from, and like he makes it really fun, dive very deep into the religious aspect of mostly Christianity. I think he used to be a priest before his spiritual stuff, and he started really diving deep into what the Bible is really talking about and what the other religious books are kind of talking about, but mostly he talks about Christianity a lot. I think 2 weeks into it, I really understood so much about the books, these religious books, the holy books of all these religion. After I came back from ayahuasca, I was going through my own awakening. I was learning new things in newer way, even things that I learned from back then before ayahuasca. I was reading, like I was able to see through a transparent wall. So yeah, that's what it was. This guy is talking about. He's really going into deep about the Bible. He's talking about Adam and Eve from the beginning, and he has sources, things that to back up his stuff. And I'm like, wow, he did it so good. Like, because after ayahuasca and after I was reading the Saint Germain books, and after that I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna be in part of these religious stuff. I'm not gonna read the books, whatever. I'm like, that's it, I'm done with these God things, the human God, and I am not gonna be praising, obeying, or whatever somebody who's in a pedestal, right? And so, but after like I watched this guy, and I was like, wow, I'm really looking at it in a different way, these religious books, and it's like really, it's so good. I'm like, whatever I'm saying is not, doesn't even come close to the things he talk about. He brings everything forward, and this like 12 years ago information he was talking about it. Like, that's crazy. It's like, I'm pretty sure the videos are actually from 1995 though, and he was uploading it like 12 years ago and stuff. And I'm like, wow, in 1995 he knew these information. Can you believe it? I'm like, wow, like I can really see the movements of spirituality, really. Bashar coming in, Cryon coming in, and these spiritual other people getting awakened. Like, now I see, I'm like, how did I come up to this spiritual awakening? Nobody in my family is going through about none of these stuff. How did I come about? And I'm like, it's people like these already bringing energy before I was born or whatever, and like putting it out there, and now I can just collect them. I feel like they're gold coins, gold. I'm like bags of gold, like a little treasure hunt. I'm finding all this information, and it's so good. So I 2 weeks into it. It could be a little bit more or a little bit less. I'm not so sure. So I was watching it, and you know what? I had a headache, and I was just like, oh, it's gonna go away. Like, I think I fell asleep through the headache or whatever, and then I woke up and I had the headache. So this is like early in the morning, like 3, 4, 5, one of those time. Like, it happened for our longest time ever, and it felt like ayahuasca purging. Like, really, usually when I have headache, I do feel a lot of pain. I don't throw up as much, or sometimes I throw up, but this throwing up, this purging was really different. And it was ayahuasca. It was not so similar. It really was ayahuasca experience, that purging feeling. Like, I felt like my whole body was hurting so bad. Like, my front was hurting, my back was hurting, and then like the fact that I couldn't even think of anything. It was just like a bad headache, so bad. And then I threw up. And the thing is, and then when I threw up, and also like I didn't eat so much food, so all I would throw up was liquid. And like I felt as I was throwing up, my body was hurting so much, and I'm just like, please stop this. Like I could not think any further, and I'm just like, what the heck, why am I going through this? And so when I threw up, usually I sometimes like I felt like I threw up. When I was throwing up, I was purging. I purged from the left side of my throat and coming out my left side, and I was just like, oh, that's weird, because even when I throw up from both my tonsils or whatever, and then sometimes it comes out of my nose or whatever, and it wasn't like that, and I was like, what is going on? And like, but I couldn't think so much because I was in so much pain internally, so much pain. Like my head was going off, my third eye was going off, I think my crown was off, I wasn't sure, but I was like to the point I started screaming, I started crying. Like it hurt so bad, and I could not, like I wanted to lay down so bad, but I could not lay down, so I had to sit up, make my back stand up, but it hurt so bad, like just to sit up. And like I was going on the couch, I was going on the bed, I could not sit up. I put the pillows around me to make my body comfortable, but I was not getting comfortable at all. It was the worst thing ever. And then like after a long time, I threw up from the right side, and that's when I also felt different. I wasn't throwing up from the same two sides at once. I was throwing up from each side separately, and I was like, what the heck going on? And I wasn't throwing up from my nose or whatever, or maybe I did throw up. I don't know. It was all liquidy stuff, and I'm like, I have to eat something, but I couldn't eat anything. And all I know, my body was in pain, and I all of a sudden like I was just so stuck. So I was going through the experience, and I just like could not think any further. Thinking hurt so bad. I could not think anything, and my brain felt like it was gonna pop. My body felt like it was hurting so bad. Like everything was just hurting from inside. It was so bad. And so that's how like I still didn't know. It was like I was going through the ayahuasca stuff, cause and then somehow I forced myself to lay in the bed, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be okay, after I threw up the second time. And then so like I was just laying down, but I was laying down weird. I was like laying down in a fetus position, and then I was just laying on the pillow like this. Like it was really awkward, but I was trying to make myself comfortable. And so like all of a sudden I felt like I was thinking, and I'm like, because my whole experience on earth, I know it may seem stupid to you guys, but it's really not. I have wanted to grow taller for the longest. I'm so tired of being 4'6" or 4'7". I'm so tired, and I'm like, this is not me. This is not who I am. I did not grow up to just watch other people grow, and like my life, like I did not physically grow. I mentally grew up, but physically I'm still looking like a child, and I don't like that. And I like, it's just like, and I'm like, I think that's what started my spiritual journey, because I'm like, that's not me. I don't want to be like that. I'm not okay with the way I am. And like, that was just like, that's how my spiritual stuff started from early age, I guess. And so I was just talking, I don't know who I was talking to, but it was just saying like to me, like, oh, you know, because I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die or something. And it was just telling me like, oh, I was like, oh, why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to suffer so much? I don't want to suffer so much. And I'm like, and I was thinking about my height, and then I felt like somebody, I don't know if somebody was talking to me or whatever, and I was just like, it was just me talking to myself and responding to myself. And I was like, oh, you know, I felt like, oh, like something saying that I'm never gonna grow taller. I'm never gonna grow. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not gonna grow taller? Like that, I don't like that. Why can't I grow taller? That's the one thing I want in life so much over everything else, really. Well, not so much over everything, but this is one of my top things. And I'm like, I want it so bad. Like I have gone through so much shit in my life. I should be able to at least have my height and then my desire. and it was just like, oh, I'm not gonna have my desire. So I'm like, so what? Okay, so I'm like, okay, if I wasn't gonna grow taller, you knew I wasn't gonna grow taller from the beginning. Why did you make me go through so many sacrifices? Why did you make me go through all this suffering? If I like, why did you give me the desire? Why do I have the desire if I was never gonna grow taller? Why do I have the desire? Why, like, I cannot step away from it? It's the thing I freaking think about all the time, as much as possible. So why is it that? And so it was just like, and there was no answer really. And I'm like, am I not gonna grow taller? And there was no answer. And like, it's just like, oh, I'm just never gonna like that feeling, you know. And I was like, oh, and then I feel like it's robbed my future. Like, if like had I been like, so why wasn't I not okay? If I knew I wasn't gonna grow taller, I should have been fine. I'm chilly fine. I should have been, you know, taken care of good. I should have lived well off. I should have like had the perfect job, I should have went to the perfect college, should have been the perfect daughter or someone into that one of those categories. But I was never really anything. I was never living a balanced lifestyle, you know. If I'm like, so why didn't you give me something that's equal to it? Why didn't you give me something equal, something greater, if my height wasn't the thing that you was gonna give me? And then I was like, wait a minute, I don't accept this. I did not go through all this suffering, pain from years of abuse, mental torture, abuse from other people, in order for you to tell me, oh, I can't live my life. I don't accept that. So I'm like, why am I learning spiritual knowledge for? Why am I learning that I can create my own reality? Why am I learning that? Why did I go to ayahuasca? Why can I relate to other spiritual people? Why am I looking to better my life? You know, why am I looking into spirituality? Why am I listening to Bashar? How come Bashar's stuff making sense? How come Kryan's stuff making sense? How come Abraham's stuff making sense? How come all these other people who wants to ground, who are the target and people stuff makes sense? Why am I going through it? Why am I learning about Bill Donahue, his information? How does it relate? Why does it relate to me so much? I'm like, I know I create my own reality. There are things that already happen in my dream reality and in my this life reality, this dream life reality. Things have happened the way I wanted. So why are you telling me that, oh, I'm like, I cannot create my reality? By you telling me I'm not gonna grow taller, you're telling me I cannot create my own reality. So why am I going through spiritual awakening? Why am I having this? Why am I waking up and I'm saying 2, 2, 2, I'm saying 3, 3, 3, I'm saying 5, 5, 5, I'm saying synchronicity? Why? Why am I not getting along with my family members? Why am I the oddball in the house? Why? Why am I waking up at nighttime questioning myself, questioning my reality? I'm having dream experience, I'm floating, I'm flying, I'm talking to people. Like, I meet different beings in my dream state. Why am I going through that? If you're telling me I cannot create my reality, I do not accept this. I'm like, I don't accept this. And guess what? Silence happened. And I'm just like, hello, talk to me. Like, why are you not answering me? I am here to create my own reality. Since because I've been learning this, I do not accept your stuff. I do not accept that I have to be miserable, living miserable for the rest of my life. I refuse to live miserably. I want to live my life and be happy. You know, I do not want to live in the collective bubble so much. I do not want that. That's not my reality. And guess what? There was nothing. And I was so pissed. I was so upset. And like, this is the point where I'm like, I give up, because the pain, it increased even more. And I was just like, I give up. I don't want to be in here. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to go through all this pain just so you can tell me I cannot grow taller. You know, I cannot live the life I want, and I still have to be here. Then why am I here? I don't want to be here. And I'm ready to go. I was like, I'm ready to go. Let me go. I'm done. I'm ready to go. I took my blanket and I took my yoga mat, and I was just like, I'm gonna lay down on the floor, and I'm like, I give up. That's it. And this is my sign to give up. I'm telling the universe I'm done. And like, usually when I say those things, I would feel like something like holding me or something. But this time, because I was in pain, I wasn't feeling so much of it, but I couldn't determine. And like, for some reason, I knew it was like, if I lay down, like, because I couldn't lay down like still in my bed, because I had to move forward and want to move around some. But I knew that moment, like if I lied down straight and I said, I'm done, I give up, I want to go home, that I was physically going to die. My physical body was going to die. Like 100%, I freaking knew that I was going to die. And like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to say that. And then you know what? And then so as I'm like trying to lay down, I'm like, wait, okay, I'm going to say bye to my man that I'm leaving. I don't want to, I'm just going to tell him goodbye for the last time. You know, I just want to say bye to him. So I got up, I went to the bedroom, and I was telling him, oh, I'm going to leave. That's it. And he was like, what the heck? I'm like, but I was in so much pain. And I was like, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to be here. And so I laid down on the bed, you know, and I was telling him, like, I'm leaving. That's it. I cannot take this pain. This hurts so much that I just want to leave. And I'm done. And I think this is when I had that, like, oh, why am I here? That whole thing that I was just saying. I think this is the point. I'm not sure which event it happened that was before. I told him, like, I'm gonna leave, I'm done, goodbye, I can't do this, screw this, you know, what's the point of me being here when I can't create my reality? You know, I don't want to be here. And I'm not sure if it was that time or before that. So I was laying down, and then, but I couldn't lay down. I could not lay down straight. For some reason, after I told him whatever, goodbye, I could not lay down straight. And I knew if I did not lay down straight, I will not be leaving. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm trying to lay down, but my body, my shoulder hurts so bad. So much, my bones were hurting from inside. It was just like so, now that I discovered it's like so creepy. But that time, I was in so much pain. And then because I couldn't lay down straight and whatever, I couldn't leave. I couldn't go. And then I was like, oh, no. And so I'm going to come back straight. And so I came back to the living room. I just tried to lay down in my mat. I could not lay down. I couldn't even sit up straight. My back was just hurting. And I would just go like shrug up or down, whatever. And I was just like, I could not sit still. I could not lay down on the floor, on the bed, nothing. I was just like, what is going on? And I'm screaming from pain. I think I've woken other people up around this time, make me screaming because my body hurts so much. My headache hurts, my body hurt. And then so my man came over, and I'm like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I can't sit down, lay down straight to leave. I cannot sit up. I'm just like moving. I'm like weird positioning. I'm like, I can't take this anymore. Please help me. So he came over and he held onto my hand, and then he was transferring energy towards me. And that's when I found out, I figured out, I was like, during ayahuasca time, that's what was going on. Because I was like, there was a lot of people lined up, and the shaman was praying for them. And I couldn't understand, like, why would they want the shaman to pray for them? You know, like, it's so weird. I found it really weird. I'm like, get up, pray for yourself, or do whatever. Like, why? I just could not understand that concept. But when he was doing this, my man was doing this, holding my hand, transferring energy, transmitting light energy. That's when I was like, oh my gosh, it's because those people, because of the state they were in, they couldn't bring themselves up. They couldn't serve themselves. So the shaman was extending his hand, his helping hand towards them, because they were so out of it. Like, I was so out of it. I could not think any good thoughts, any bad thought, nothing. All I'm doing is screaming at the top of my lungs, you know, like my body hurt so bad. And then he was just praying for me, and while he was praying for me, after a bit, I calmed down and I climbed up the couch and I laid down on the side and I fell asleep, and I woke up. And like, I surrendered. I was like, you know what, I know he's gonna, for some reason, when he was holding my hand and he was transferring energy, light energy, and I just felt safe. I felt good. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave my life on his hand, because I know he's gonna take good care of me, and I'm gonna relax and rest. And so I got up on the couch and I laid down on the side and I fell asleep. And I woke up the next morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 or 3 in the afternoon actually. And then we were talking about it, and then he was like, you was purging like ayahuasca last night or early this morning. And I was like, you know what, you are right. And I was telling him like the part where I was having a conflict with myself of like, oh, it was telling me that I was never gonna grow taller and stuff, and like never gonna grow taller. And I was so sad because I'm like, I went through a lot in my life. I cannot believe this, like a lot in my life in my young age. I went through a lot in my life for this thing to happen, and just for me to not get anything. And I refused that. And I was like, I refuse to accept that, oh, all the spiritual knowledge is for nothing, And then he was like, oh, you passed the test. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, that's your dark night of the soul. And I was like, you're right. It was my dark night of the soul. I thought I was done facing with the dark night of the soul. And I really thought I gave in when I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to live anymore because I'm tired of suffering. I'm tired of watching people suffer. It hurts me. It hurts so much from inside my body. It's like, oh, you didn't give up because you fought it, because all your learning knowledge actually paid off. All the years of research, all the years of looking, rewiring myself, listening to Bashar, listening to Abraham, all the affirmation, I kept telling myself it worked because I did not take the bait. I just and I'm still here, and I'm like, no, I didn't pass in a way, because I didn't get to lay down and die. And he was like, oh, that was a test too, because you passed. That's why you're still here. You're going through it. And I'm just like, it was one hell of a night, morning. Oh my gosh. It was so like, and I was like, how did I do that purging thing? And it was Bill Donahue. It was because of him. So if you're watching, any of you who know of him, thank him for me. Like, big thank you. Like, thank you so much for helping me out. Purging in that what I was holding, that I thought I was done purging, because I'm like, that's it, no more ayahuasca, whatever, done for the dark night of the soul, all the stuff. But I still had some stuff in me, and like that big pain in me, and I released it, and I felt like my physical body released it because of all the energy that I was holding down. Now I feel like I'm in a different frequency, and it was such a crazy moment, and I felt so sacred, and I felt so confused the next day, because I did not think it was like one of the dark night of the soul. I did not think about passing or feeling, because I was just like, oh shit, wow, what a night, so I highly recommend you watch Bill Donahue, who goes by William Donahue, on YouTube. And like, his stuff is so good. Keep in mind, just keep watching, even if you somewhat don't relate to it, because he does have good information later on as he talks about more in depth about religion, goes in different chapters, and you get to know more sense of him, or how aware he is. I'm like, this is 1995, and this guy was that awakened. He knew so much information. I'm like, wow, what the heck? I hope this helped you guys. I hope you check this out and come back for more story time and dream state stuff about me. So I'll see you guys.